isn't so blown out from the
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, it's maybe I need like diffuser curtains or something in my because I have my
I just have
office. I've got
yes.
the big window here, so.
Yeah, I have this big one behind me, but we just got back from vacation yesterday, so bear with me, I guess. Nathan,
Hi,
what's
Nathan.
up?
All
Well,
right. Well, you don't have to scream at us in all caps. We're going to start the show.
yes,
Give us a second.
we have a couple of people in Facebook. We'll let the audience
Oh
kind
yeah.
of trickle in, and then we'll get started. I know it's a Saturday, and I know it's a new time to get used to, but it works better for us, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And hopefully it works better for you too.
Yeah. Hi, Blossom and Terry. Good to see you. Um, okay. We've got 11. Oh, hi. I just
Oh,
got
Brian's
back.
there. Hey. If you're in Disneyland right now, what are you doing watching us? You should be going on a ride.
Yeah, come on.
No, you can watch us. Bring us along on the ride. I'm
I'm
sure
sure that.
everyone on the ride will with you will appreciate that.
Yes. One thing I was sad about not getting to do, though, was Big Thunder, because it's down for refurb right now.
Yeah, and it's so much better than the Big Thunder here. It's
I've
so
never
much
gotten to
smoother,
do it.
better effects. Um, the mountain isn't quite as big. There's you don't get to go past the little town. I do like that little bit of trick track that we have in Florida when you pass through the flooded town. But other than that, the California one is way better. Did you get to see? Brian brings up a great point. Did you get to see Haunted Mansion Holiday?
I did not. Unfortunately, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
That's the best reason to go.
I know. With everything that happened, it just wasn't gonna
Hmm.
happen. And it was so slammed, like
Yeah. Yep.
extremely busy. And we went on a Wednesday
Mm-hmm. You think
too,
that wouldn't be too bad?
you would think. Uh, okay, Nathan, I got you. We will start.
Nathan's very impatient. All right.
I respond to the all caps. Okay, let's
Yeah.
get to it in
Let's do it.
3, 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 110 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by Destinations with Character Travel. I'm Brittany,
And I'm Seth.
and we're here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Seth, how have you been this past week?
I have been great. Thanks for asking. I did not have nearly as an exciting a week as you did, but I did get to participate in day one of Disney Genie and Genie Plus over at Walt Disney World, which we will get to a little later in the show. But spoiler alert, it was a really long day.
Yikes.
Started before 7 a.m. And I didn't get home until about 11. So
Oh my
that
goodness.
was a big day, but this is what we theme park reporters have to do, to serve our listeners. It's a hard life, but someone's got to do
And,
it.
it ain't much, but it's honest work, as they say.
And how was your sacrifice this week for
Oh
work?
my goodness, well, I while Susan and Simon so wonderfully filled in for me while I was on vacation.
Shout out, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. You guys literally gave me so much content to pull for the podcast today that I couldn't even include it all. There was so much, or else we'd be here for hours. I went on a trip with the Super Yaki team. If you guys know what that is, it's a little small shop I do work for, to Disneyland and Universal Hollywood. My first time at Universal Hollywood too, by the way. It was a lot of fun. We did the Oogie Boogie Bash, which was incredible, and we'll talk about a little later with Zombie Cat. But
Oh yeah,
Agatha was great. Josh dressed up like Sid, and they had a little interaction that was super funny.
that's great.
It was very crowded, and I gotta say, the energy was kind of volatile at
Ooh,
Oogie Boogie. Yeah, people were.
Was
Um,
getting a little bit of Halloween Horror Nights rowdiness over at Disney.
More just like people, there were so many people just like walking around everywhere, and it's inevitable that you're accidentally going to get in some line in front of someone when you're just trying to pass through, and
Uh
everyone like had claws out. They were
huh.
like,
Ooh.
I'm in line. It's like, I'm just trying to get over there, stop yelling at me.
And it's not even a line for a haunted house. It's
No, it's
you
like
know,
a
candy
popcorn
trail
line.
or
Yeah,
yeah. Wow. People get vicious if you get in
they
between them and
do.
their treats.
But I got to experience Avengers Campus, which was super exciting. I loved all of the entertainment aspects of it. The rides, Guardians is good.
Guardians is great. I really enjoy
Guardians is
Guardians.
great. I
Which
love
did you
Guardians.
like better, Daytime Guardians or Monsters After Dark?
That's really hard because they're both so good. I have to say, I think I like the regular one more, but just by like a hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. Most
And
importantly, you got to see the greatest theme park show made out of the worst movie ever.
yes,
What
and
did you think of Waterworld?
it was incredible. Everything that you and everyone else has said about Waterworld was absolutely true. And I didn't realize that they target the audience so hard with
When they
Kingdom
have those splash
Land.
zones on the benches, you better believe it. You,
They were
they're
ready
they're
to.
vicious.
They had those water gun things, and they were talking about like if you sit in the green zone, you get wet. And one of the performers that was mic'd was just like wailing on this group of three dudes in the front, and they
Oof.
were loving it
They
though.
always pick someone. They always pick someone.
It was so good. And
Well, I'm
then
so glad you
over,
had a great trip.
yeah, it was very, very fun. Exhausting, but fun. Maybe next time I'll take a vacation somewhere more relaxing.
Well, that would not be a theme park then.
No, certainly not. But
But let's get to the news because
yes,
we've got some impatient people in the comments
I
today.
know. I'm sorry. Okay, let's do it. Okay, first up, the Disney Wish is going to be in Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade this year.
See, that's a relaxing vacation. The Disney Wish, not the Macy's
I
Thanksgiving
was gonna
Parade.
say,
I've gone there. I haven't been there during the running of the parade, but I've gone there the night before when they set everything up. And it is beautiful to watch on TV, but there's nothing relaxing about being there in person.
it seems
A lot
super
of work.
chaotic.
Yeah.
But this year they're going to have a float, a stylized version of the Disney Wish. You can see it in this image right here, along with some appearances by Princess Tiana and Cinderella and Captain Minnie Mouse, just to celebrate the upcoming sailing next summer, which is cool.
The rendering of the float is just adorable. It's got the classic Mickey Mouse inspired color palette. And I love that it looks like there's a miniature version of the water slide that goes around the top deck. I think that's amazing. I hope that's like animated or something with tiny little sleds going through
That would be so cute.
it.
It looks like a wishable or something that you like a little
Yeah,
plush like
it
squishy
totally
thing.
yes. It's very kawaii.
Yes.
It's
But you'll get to see this for yourself on, I believe it's November 25th at 9 a.m. across all time zones.
yes.
Um,
It will air nationally on NBC, assuming you still have cable or rabbit ears. I know I had a real trouble last year trying to
Same.
find a free way of streaming it. So hopefully NBC will get that together so
I mean,
we can
Peacock,
all see that.
would Peacock not stream it?
Um, I, I honestly, I really don't know. I subscribed to Peacock on the free level, but I don't know that I've ever actually watched anything through it.
That's fair.
Shh,
That's fair.
don't tell anyone. It's one of those
Uh,
things I signed up for when it came out and never really bothered with.
I completely understand.
So maybe check Peacock. Who knows? If you know, let us know so we can all watch it together in
Yes.
our pajamas.
The Swan Reserve Hotel has announced its 4 restaurants that guests will be able to enjoy once it opens,
Hmm.
with the signature one being a Mediterranean-inspired restaurant called Amare.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful looking room, first of all, with a lot of natural materials. these kind of woven chandeliers overhead. And it's going to serve a breakfast buffet plus some upscale a la carte items. And you've got lunch options like salads and flatbreads, grilled fish. But dinner, I think, is going to be the big deal here. It's got this Mediterranean, almost tapas style menu. Things like hearth-fired tiger prawns, charred octopus. Don't tell my wife about that one. She hates when I eat out. Ever since watching my octopus teacher, cannot eat octopus around
Oh
here.
no.
But she might like the Turkish manta dumplings with spiced lamb. And cauliflower, roasted eggplant, and yogurt sauce, plus some really interesting Greek-inspired dishes like pistachio baklava.
I'm looking at that Meyer lemon panna cotta. That sounds good to me.
Mm.
But there are also other places like Tangerine, which is a poolside bar, a lobby lounge called Stir, and a grab-and-go marketplace called Grounds.
Betting they're going to have coffee.
Yeah.
So this is all part of the Swan Reserve, which, if you're confused about what that is, when they first announced it was going to be called the Cove, and it's part of the Weston family, just like the Swan and the Dolphin are, and it's kind of tucked in behind those. Swan and Dolphin are kind of famous for those. Was it Michael Graves, the giant sculptures of the stylized animals on the roofs? This building doesn't quite match that style. It's a little more modern, but we'll see how it fits in once it's all complete. I just drove by the other day, and it looks like they're still doing some work. So hopefully that'll all be ready to go by its opening.
Yes. The Royal Caribbean has announced a very kind of interesting itinerary, a 274-night world cruise.
I was just pricing cruises for my wife and myself to do a quick little 4-day, a 4-day cruise. That's about what my budget can possibly handle. 274 night. First of all, obviously you do not work a day job.
Yeah, you have to quit your job.
Or you can do it all remotely, and hopefully the boat will have good Wi-Fi. Because that's a long, if you have enough PTO saved up to take off 274 nights of vacation.
I would be concerned first.
Well, yes, you probably, first of all, haven't had a vacation in about 25 years, so you deserve it. But this is the first time Royal Caribbean has done a around the world kind of cruise. And it kicks off in December 10th, 2023 in Miami. And you're going to be spending the next, 2/3 of the year living on the Serenade of the Seas, visiting all 7 continents. 150 destinations, 65 countries. 57 of them that Royal Caribbean has not visited before. And apparently you're going to visit all 11 great wonders of the world. I thought there were 7 wonders of the world. Apparently now there are 11, and you're going to see them. So that's a lot of wonders.
And if you don't want to do the entire cruise, you can break it up into chunks. There
are
4. They're still expensive. But
yeah.
You can choose between the Americas and Antarctica expedition, the Wonders of Asia and the Pacific expedition, Middle East Treasures and Marvels of the Mediterranean expedition, and Capitals of Culture expedition.
And all of these short cruises are between 60 and 80 nights. So be prepared.
Long.
You're still leaving home for 2 to 3 months. And you add them all up together, and you get a pretty serious cruise. The final leg involves Barcelona, Norway, St. Petersburg, Russia, and finally all the way back to Miami. Now, what would you, Brittany, pay for an experience like this?
More than I could afford.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
This falls into one of those categories. If you have to ask what the price tag is, it's not meant for you. You can't afford it. But just in case you're curious, Starting price on this is for an interior stateroom, and if you want to live for 9 months without a window to look out of in the morning, that's up to you. But that's $60,999 per person. Or
Oh
you
my
get a nice
gosh.
10% savings, knock that down to just under $55,000 if you pay it all up front right now. And don't forget that price, you're going to have to add on an extra $4,667 to cover taxes, fees, and port expenses. So yeah, you're going to be basically paying the price of a couple Teslas per person,
Or at
and that's
least
for
like 2 or 3 college
yeah,
tuitions.
exactly, or 1 year at Full Sail. Um,
Yikes.
Sorry, I had to go there. Or, if you think that you might want a balcony to step out onto occasionally, now you're talking about $79,000 per person. Um, and if you want to go up to a junior suite because you're going to be spending 9 months in a tiny, tiny room with your loved one and might occasionally want to get a little bit of privacy, you're talking 1,000. I'm sorry, $112,000 per person.
Plus that $4,667
Of
in
course. Oh yeah,
taxes
you
and
can't forget
fees.
about that. You can't forget
Yeah.
about that. Um, uh, However, you will get deluxe beverage service, Wi-Fi, laundry service. Thank God for laundry service, because can you imagine packing enough clothes for 270 days?
Oh my gosh, the
Yeah.
luggage fees alone.
Oh, and if you're a member of the Crown and Anchor Platinum Society, you'll get a bonus shore excursion package. So I'm sure that will also help defray some of your cost. Um, Obviously, this is probably not meant for me or you
Nope.
or 99.99% of the people who are listening to our podcast. But if you are one of the people who thinks to yourself, that sounds like a reasonable thing to do, please send us pictures.
Yeah,
Or better yet, take one of us along in your luggage. Um,
I can
I,
squeeze.
I'll sleep under the bed. It's all good.
You can, if you get the balcony, I'll sleep on the balcony.
As long
It's
as there's
fine.
room service included and I can just, I'm all
Yeah.
good.
It's an incredible offering for sure, but just the price tag is
It's amazing. I
understandably
mean, you
insane.
you could probably, if not buy a boat outright, but you could rent a pretty nice yacht for a year, and a captain to to captain it for the price of a junior suite for two. So yeah,
Goodness. Well, yeah, definitely let us know if any of you happen to do that
please
because
please do send us pictures.
let us know what the grass is like in your neck of the woods. Plaza Point Holiday Shop has opened at Disneyland Park. This one I missed while I
Oh,
was
so it
there.
must have just opened right after you left.
Yeah.
I
Um,
know you probably were really sad because you were looking for a place where you could develop your film from your camera while you
oh,
were at
yes.
Disneyland. You went to the Main Street Photo Supply and discovered it was closed because it was being refurbished and renovated, and it reopened this week as Plaza Point. Because no one really needs film cameras anymore. PhotoPass, sorry, killed you. Too bad.
Yeah.
Um, but now you have a one-stop shop on Main Street to buy holiday tchotchkes all year round. We've had this for years at the Ye Old Christmas shop in Liberty Square in Walt Disney World. For some reason, Disneyland has not had a year-round holiday shop, and now they do.
And right now it's getting set up for Christmas, which, by the way, the day that we went to Disneyland Park, they had already put snow on the castle.
Wow,
Yeah.
they're really getting a jump on things. Not
And
even
they've
waiting
already
till
started
Halloween.
stringing the lights on Small World.
Halloween and Christmas combined. Who's in charge of decorations? Jack Skellington now running the decor department at Disneyland? What's going on?
It was weird because the day before when we were at DCA, there were no Christmas lights anywhere on property. They hadn't
Mm.
been strung up or anything yet. And we did the good old cut through Grand Californian to get back
Mm-hmm.
to Paradise Pier. And then the following day, all of the trees
Like
were
magic.
strung. Yes,
Like magic.
it's unreal. But the shop, while it was probably offering Christmas stuff now, just throughout the year, it will offer various seasonal holiday goods like for Lunar New Year, Easter, Halloween, Hanukkah, and of course, Christmas year round.
I was happy to see that there is at least one tiny shelf tucked way up high with menorahs. And more
Yes.
than one menorah. I don't know if it's three menorahs, but there were at least two different ones. So, yay. Little
Um,
recognition for Festival of Lights.
yes. Some of the stuff that you can get are home decor, ornaments, curios and collectibles, housewares, linens, and more. You can also get hand painted ornaments year round, which
Mm-hmm.
sounds lovely.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think you're going to be able to watch through the front windows as they're painting these ornaments. So that's going to make it a little bit of a tourist attraction, kind of like the silhouette cutters or the glass blowers.
yes, but very cool. I would have at least liked to walk around in it,
Yeah.
um, but
Well,
that's
it's
time.
something for your next trip.
Yes. Disneyland Paris has announced their plans for this holiday season, including a brand new Christmas parade.
I think the neat thing about this new parade, which is debuting, I'm sorry, on, well, the event starts on November 13th, but the new parade, jump in because I'm having trouble reading
Yes.
the blog post in front of me.
Most
Sorry.
of the
Is it
most of the
Disney
night.
Illuminations on the December
Yes.
21st? There we are. Okay,
Yes.
sorry. I was having trouble with my browser.
Yes. Most of the entertainment stuff sounds like it will kick off on December 21st with
Hmm.
Disney Illuminations and the return of Lion King Rhythm of the Pride Lands. But this parade is called Mickey's Dazzling Christmas Parade!
There we
Exclamation
go.
point.
Yes, it's got you got to say the exclamation point.
Yes.
Uh, apparently, this is something they have been quote unquote secretly developing for several years. And what I like about this parade concept is that it can run twice a day. It's one parade during the daytime, and then the floats have different lighting and decor, snowfall. Um, uh, sorry, after nightfall, not snowfall. And the combination gives you basically one version of the parade that you can see when it's light out, and then another version of the parade to enjoy after dark.
I love that. Why
Hey,
can't
I just wish we here in Orlando we had any parade that ran after dark.
I was just going to say that. When are we going to get a nighttime parade at Walt
It's
Disney
been
World
way
again?
too long, way too long.
Way too long indeed. And then Rhythm of the Pride Lands will
That's
return.
that's their version of the Lion King show, which I've heard is even a little more elaborate than the one we have in Animal Kingdom.
Ooh,
Yep.
that one returns actually today, the day that we're recording this,
Yep.
October 23rd. And it will be performing in the Frontierland Theater several times a day.
Of course, you're going to have the wealth of enchanting decor all around the parks and, of course, around the resorts. And you've got the usual range of additions to the restaurant menus. If you want some stuffed turkey or a Christmas Yule log, they've even thrown in some concessions to vegans this year, like pumpkin and chestnut soup. It's very nice of
Ooh,
them.
that sounds good.
Um, the hotels, you can buy special gift packages, have your room decorated with a little Christmas tree if you're staying in one of the on-site hotels. And there's even going to be a Chef's Enchanting Festive Cuisine event on the 24th and 31st. Brunches on the 25th and the 1st. So there will be plenty of opportunities for traditional Christmas dinners around the resort.
Disneyland Paris seems like a great Disney park to spend a Christmas
Yeah.
at.
Well, that and I guess Tokyo also gets snow. I was there in September one year, and it didn't actually stick, but it kind of snowed and sleeted.
Oh,
It
that's
was a
so nice,
it
though.
was it was kind of romantic. It was kind of beautiful. It was also kind of annoying. And it's a good thing that there's a lot of like covered pathways and kind of sheltered areas there because it can get cold there. It definitely it's a much more traditional Christmas experience than being in Orlando when it's like 70 degrees on Christmas
Oh,
Day.
yes. And then they have the fake molded snow everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Snope.
Snope. Hong Kong Disneyland Resort has announced some new pricing for their tickets and annual passes that went into effect on the 19th of this month.
Yeah, I gotta say I have not purchased Hong Kong tickets myself, so I'm not entirely sure what the pricing was before. I'm betting the prices have gone up a little rather than down.
Yes.
But the big change seems to be that they are now doing different pricing on one-day tickets for regular days versus what they call peak days. This is something that Disneyland and Walt Disney World did a while ago. It used to be, one price per day, no matter what day of the year it was, and now they're kind of doing that tiered pricing based on demand, like all the other parks have gone to. Also, when you buy a one-day ticket now, you're going to have to use it within 3 months.
Oh, wow. Um,
But I was, also kind of surprised if you do the math. Their ticket prices are so much cheaper than what we pay for parks here. I mean, obviously, Hong Kong Disneyland is not the biggest Disney park in terms of attractions, but their peak price, Hong Kong dollars 699, in American money that translates to just $90 for general admission. And that's their peak price. And kids get a much better discount. Their kids' ticket is only about $67. They even have a senior ticket that is insanely cheap. It's only 100 Hong Kong dollars. So that's coming out to like $10 US, not even.
could you imagine only paying $90 to
Yeah.
get into Walt Disney World
I also
for a
like that
day
they
ticket?
have discounted tickets for people who are disabled. Because, if you're physically unable to use a lot of the rides, it's nice that you don't have to pay full price.
Yeah, at a 30% discount too,
Hmm.
which is significant for sure. And then they're also doing their annual passes are called Magic Access,
Hmm.
and they're doing an early renewal offer where
Yep.
guests can save 30% on the new prices when renewing or upgraded to the platinum or gold tiers of
Yeah.
the
And
pass.
I know that's a better discount than I got when renewing my Disney World annual pass.
Ooh.
That's a 30% is a nice discount.
And then they've also got a new senior offer. Those who hold Joy U cards can get one-day tickets for Hong Kong 100
Yeah.
dollars, which is the same price as the one-day senior tickets.
Yeah. That's a great price.
Yeah. Not surprising to see this kind of happen across the board. I was also watching Chris from TDR Explorer talk about why he hasn't been doing a lot of videos in Tokyo Disney lately. And it's
Hmm.
because prices of tickets have been going up and they're harder to get with
Hmm.
government restrictions and stuff. He said that they just increased the capacity to 10,000, the government for theme
Hmm.
parks, and that tickets have increased in price as well. So it seems to be happening everywhere.
Well, I mean, knowing that Tokyo Disneyland was the most popular park pretty much in the world in terms of attendance, right? Cutting them down to 10,000 people, that's nothing.
Well, they were
Um,
five
wow,
thousand before.
wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Especially considering Disneyland and Walt Disney World, they don't, they're capping attendance through their park reservation system, but it's way more than 10,000 people. I'll tell you that.
yeah, yeah. They only just increased it to 10,000 from five
Wow.
thousand. Yeah.
Can you imagine being there on a day with only 5,000 people?
Oh, we would feel so dead. It would be wonderful.
It'd be wonderful and it would be creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah, I mean, and you could probably walk around whole areas and not see another person.
That's kind of cool though.
Cool or creepy, you decide, let us know.
Six Flags Magic Mountain has announced a new single rail coaster called Wonder Woman Flight of Courage coming
Um,
next summer.
yeah, this is a kind of fairly recent style of coaster made by Rocky Mountain Construction. No, I saw some prototypes and models at IAPA a couple of years ago, but have not actually been on one myself. It's basically a monorail. Instead of the typical track where you kind of have the car riding on top of a track, this sort of hugs around the track, and you sit single file. So everyone is kind of in the perfect, center of gravity for the path of the ride. I've heard they give a pretty intense ride, but that they're
Hmm.
really smooth. I am a little confused. I know that we had another Wonder Woman single rail coaster built not too long ago at a Six Flags park. Um, but I think this one is a different layout and has a different name. So someone who is a super coaster geek is going to have to let us know how those two compare.
Yes. The coaster is about 3,300 feet long as far as length of track. It has three inversions and tops out at 13 stories and will hit a max speed of 58 miles per hour, um, which is nothing to turn your nose at for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. They're taller coasters. There are faster coasters, but from what I understand, the single rail, single file design lets them do some really tight maneuvers, and get the kind of turn radius that you wouldn't get on a wider coaster car. So
Yeah.
I
This
I
one,
personally I'm just a little I'm reading further on. There's Wonder Woman Flight of Courage. There's also Wonder Woman Golden Lasso at Fiesta, Texas, which might be the other single rail that I'm thinking of. But there's also a Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth, and that's at Six Flags America and Six Flags Great Adventure. And that one I think is like a flat ride, like a spinning pendulum ride. Um, so I'm always, at least with Batman the Ride, the Ride is a B&M suspended looping coaster, and they're the same no matter where you go in the world.
yes.
But all their other superhero coasters, you're never quite sure what you're going to get based on the name.
Well, at least with Wonder Woman, you can only say lasso or golden lasso so many
So many
times.
times, right? Well, I mean, she's got more than a lasso. They haven't made a ride made around her bracelets yet.
Yeah, or the sword. I guess that's only from the movies, but granted, I don't know a ton about Wonder Woman beyond the live action films. But this coaster will open. It's projected for next summer, so keep an eye out.
Yep.
Aquatica has announced a new water slide for 2022 called Reef Plunge, opening in March, along with everything else that's opening at the water parks next year.
Right. I mean, the SeaWorld water parks are on a roll. This is like the third major announcement we've had in a couple weeks about a big addition. And this one, uh, based on the concept art, I'm feeling for these poor fish because they are getting yet another pair of water slides going right through their habitat. The Aquatica's signature body slide has always been the dolphin plunge, which goes through the Commerson dolphin habitat. Those are the dolphins that are kind of have markings that make them look sort of like whales. Um, this now, I don't know if this is an expansion of that same habitat or a replacement for it, but it looks like in addition to the dolphins, there's also going to be now leopard sharks and other cold water fish that the tubes are going to pass through. And all I can think is these poor fish just want to be left alone. Like how would you like it if someone came speeding through your bedroom every 60 seconds?
I would hate that.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna get a little salty here.
Do it.
That's a fish joke. Um, this is the kind of attraction that looks so cool to the people who are waiting to get in line. And when you're actually on it, you go through these plexiglass tubes. They are technically transparent, but with water in your face and you're moving so fast and the refraction of the light through the tubes, you can't really see anything. Like I've been on the dolphin plunge one. I maybe saw a shape that could have been a dolphin once, but it's just a blur. So this is one that looks great in the concept art. I'm sure the tube itself, the slide will be a lot of fun. But don't expect to get an in-depth observation of the marine life as you're sliding through it, 20 something miles an hour. It's
When
not
can
going to
we have
happen.
a slow moving ride through
Exactly.
it?
Well, it's funny you say that, but there are water parks around the world that have kind of like a cross between a water slide and a dark ride that actually like lets you slow down and look at things.
Yes.
And to me, we have lazy rivers, which are great. That's one of my favorite things in any water park. But we really need someone in Orlando to build a water slide attraction that's just as elaborate as a dark ride. It can be done, darn it. They
I believe
exist.
I believe in you, designers that
Oh,
listen to our podcast.
yes. Yes, please. Pitch that.
Give us an underwater lazy river. That would
So,
be so cool.
all right. So anyway,
Yes.
my griping aside, this is going to open up in 2022. You're going to have to be at least 42 inches to ride, so tell your kids to start growing.
And then they're doing some other enhancements to the park as
Hmm.
well, like more than 1,000 new loungers and beach chairs.
Something they could definitely use. Biggest
Mm,
complaint that I hear about Aquatica is not enough places to sit.
and more shade, which
Amen. Amen.
you can never have too much shade,
Hmm.
as well as a new pizza restaurant and a beach bar. So, uh, SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, March 2022.
Yep.
Um, Whoever covers that's going to be busy.
Absolutely. And they're doing a fun card special right now. So you basically you buy a card, you get the rest of this year and all of next year included. It's a pretty good deal.
Nice. Universal Hollywood's holiday offerings are set to return this November after a COVID related hiatus, specifically Grinchmas and Christmas in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yep, they do a great light show. Of the three light shows that they do on Hogwarts Castle, I'd say this one is a close second for me behind the Dark Arts. It's a really charming show, and I recommend getting yourself a cup of hot butterbeer to watch it with because pairs very well. Did you just can't be friends with you? Can't.
I'm sorry, it's gross.
So good, so
I
good.
respect anyone who likes it though. Full respect.
Well,
Um,
maybe you would have more fun than over at Grinchmas. Grinchmas in Hollywood is not quite as elaborate as it is in Orlando. They don't have the stage show, which we are getting back in Orlando this year. But they do a little celebration in the plaza. They have a 65-foot tall Grinchmas tree that they do a little lighting ceremony. And they even have a live dog come and play Max.
oh,
Um, along with a bunch of Whoville citizens with those scary prosthetic noses.
these offerings return starting November 26th, and they will be around through January 2nd, 2022. But
Hmm.
there's also some happenings in Universal City Walk.
Yes, they've got their 40-foot tall Christmas tree with more than 200,000 LED icicle lights, and they do a little choreographed show to seasonal music.
And of course, if you're visiting or plan on visiting, be sure to bring your COVID-19 vaccine card or your most recent negative PCR test with
Hmm.
you, because I did do that and they were checking them before you could even go through security.
They
So,
were checking them on your day.
yes, they were.
Interesting, yeah. So I know the latest update was, as we kind of suspected, they've said that they're only planning on doing the checks on days when they think they're going to hit that 10,000, but they won't tell people ahead of time. So you're not going to know whether or not you're going to get checked. So plan on being checked.
Yeah. I think it was because I went on a Horror Nights day,
Absolutely, that'll do it.
but they had special signage that showed either have the card or
Hmm.
have your negative PCR test, and then they had barricades in front of the security area with security team members like looking at everyone's papers. So
How long did it take? Did it add a lot of time to your
it was like
entry?
2 seconds.
Excellent. Good
Yeah,
to
they
know.
just, and they weren't checking IDs because they're not doing that until November.
Right.
But it was just kind of like a look at it, look for the dosages, the numbers. I have the Johnson and Johnson, so I just have one dose date.
Gotcha.
And then they handed it back to me and sent me on my way. So it was pretty easy.
Nice.
Yeah. They did not have Christmas decorations up when I went though. So
Well, I did notice I was just in Islands of Adventure 2 days ago. Grinchmas decorations up all over Seuss Landing already.
wow.
Yep. All the
When I
wreaths are
went
up.
to City Walk, they had the Fortnite battle bus set up in front of the Universal
Oh,
Cinema
cool.
and not a Christmas tree.
Did they make you fly up in it and then jump out?
No, but it was all lit up neon at
Ooh,
night, and we got Josh loves Fortnite, so we took some pictures in front of it.
nice.
For all you Broadway heads, Disney on Broadway concerts are back at Epcot
Yay.
next year for the
I'm
Festival
so
of the
happy
Arts.
that it was not the Festival of the Arts without the arts.
No.
They had the paintings and they had the food, but it is not this festival without the real Broadway performers coming and singing songs from Disney musicals, and they will be back. Um, I don't think we know exactly who is back. We've had people in the past like Ashley Brown, Snidey Winters, Heidi Bickenstaff, but I don't think we have a announcement of the lineup. But we do have confirmation that the concerts will return, which is great, great news.
Yes. They will run from January 14th, 2022
Hmm.
through February 21st, which is kind of short. I mean, in comparison to how long Food and Wine is.
It's this
But
is the tiny and it's gotten shorter because the spring Flower and Garden Festival seems to start earlier and earlier every year.
yeah,
So yeah, it runs just like a month and a week. But I personally,
I
I think
like
it's my
it.
favorite of the
Same.
festivals. Food and Wine goes on so long that I'm kind of exhausted by it by the end. This is like just short enough that it still feels special.
Yeah.
And they definitely have the prettiest food. They always do
Yes.
great plating at all of the festival kitchens.
And then more Epcot news. Candlelight Processional is back this year, and we have some narrators announced, including Cheetah Rivera, Jodie Benson, Alton Fitzgerald White, Lisa Ling, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Blair Underwood, and Pat Sajak. Though surprisingly, no Neil Patrick Harris on that initial list.
That's a shame. It's not quite the Candlelight Processional without Neil Patrick
He's
Harris.
always there, which is why I was surprised to
Um,
not see him mentioned.
I also believe that this year the choir is going to be made up of Disney cast members who are all vaccinated
Cool.
and a live orchestra, but it's not going to have the volunteer chorus from local schools or organizations like they have in the past, which is probably healthy.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about. A lot of the usual things are back, such as some of the musical performances, the festival food, of course, the cookie stroll. But they're bringing back the storytellers who we've not had in a
Oh,
little while.
yes.
There's going to be a Hanukkah storyteller. They're going to have the storytellers in France, Italy, Japan, Norway, and the UK. And these are some of the equity actors, some of them who have still been out of work for a long time. So this is great, great to have more of that kind of personal entertainment back in the parks. That's
Yes.
the kind of one-on-one interaction. Obviously, you won't be hugging them. It's you're going to be able to wave at Santa Claus, but you're not going to be able to sit on his lap this year. But those are the kind of personal moments that I'm so glad they're bringing back.
Hmm. And then you'll also get to watch Harmonious with all of the festive surroundings, though no holiday overlays or anything. This thing is still too fresh to get
Yeah. No,
any
they
holiday additions.
no.
And then, of course, holiday kitchens and the cookie stroll and Olaf's Holiday Tradition Expedition Scavenger Hunt. Man, that is a mouthful. Um, you'll be able to search for holiday traditions that Olaf has gathered from around the world and lost throughout World Showcase. This is one of those pay-to-play scavenger hunt
Hmm.
deals in Epcot, but it doesn't say what the prize is that you get at the end. So
Usually it's a little ornament or other dust catcher. We'll have to find out when it starts
that's
what the
sure.
giveaway this is.
But I'm super looking forward to the return of a proper festival of the
Yep,
holidays.
yep.
This one kicks back off on November 26th. Universal Orlando has officially put the final nail in the Fear Factor Live coffin. That show
Hallelujah.
is closed
Hallelujah.
for good.
This Fear Factor Live, I gotta tell you, is in my guidebooks the lowest rated attraction that I actually put it slightly behind Fast and Furious. Only
Wow.
Fast and Furious bores me and annoys me, but I've never gotten physically nauseated. Uh, Whereas watching people eat a mixture of sour milk and bugs for entertainment, and like if they manage to not vomit, they get a plastic cup, with a Universal logo on it, or
That
it
sucks.
was just. I mean, it was I guess now by today's standards, the stuff that they ask people to do is really mild. But I really, I feel like this is kind of like part of the downfall of Western civilization, where we went from like wanting to see people with talents who could sing and dance and act and, connect, to just watching a freak show of people willing to do anything just to get attention.
Yep.
um, and Fear Factor, the TV show, and the theme park show, as an extension, were just kind of like the poster child for that degrading of our culture.
Yep.
I'm putting a lot of pressure on a poor theme park show, and I'm sorry. I had friends who worked on that show and worked really hard and did great stuff, and I know people who, volunteered, participated, and had a really great time and treasure their T-shirt or whatever they got. But oh, it's such valuable real estate. It's like such a prime position, th- to have it wasted all this time. Honestly, the only time that venue was useful was for Halloween, when it was,
Hmm.
the stage for the Bill and Ted show for years, and most recently the Halloween Nightmare Fuel show, which I really loved, and I hope they can find a new home for it. Maybe something can go in the Animal Actors stage, because that sits empty during Halloween now.
Yeah.
But Fear Factor needed to die. It was long past time for it to die, and I'm so glad that Universal finally acknowledged that it's dead. This is an ex-parrot.
Yes.
That's a Monty
Um,
Python joke for you guys.
it officially closes
Crickets.
on November 1st. Um, rest in pieces. I won't miss it.
Nope, nope.
Um, this thing wishes it was as cool as Waterworld. Nothing is as cool as Waterworld.
Unfortunately, I don't. It's a good plot of land, but I don't think that there is enough space backstage. There's literally apartments, kind of right behind there. Don't think you could do Waterworld, but if you want to catch up on some rumors, head over to Orlando Park Stop. Alicia Stella has done a great job of rounding those up. Looks like a virtual reality Harry Potter broomstick flying attraction is high on the list of possibilities to go in that spot.
Would
So,
that, I wonder if that would just be a clone of what they have at Harry Potter New York.
apparently not. From what I hear, the people who have been developing the one for Orlando were very surprised when they announced the one from New York,
Oh,
because they were not aware that that was happening, and
oh,
we're
whoops.
we're not. From what I hear, they were. It was not a pleasant surprise when they found
Oh,
out. But
yeah, I'd imagine not.
yeah, the latest rumor is that they're still pushing ahead with what they're calling a very high capacity VR attraction, which is the key because VR usually takes a long time to, put on the headset, get people all adjusted. It's usually something that can only handle a few people at a time. So
Yeah.
if they've cracked the method of making VR with high throughput, then that would be a wonderful replacement for Fear Factor Live. But honestly, like a bathroom would be a wonderful replacement for Fear Factor Live. A field that has been seeded with salt so that nothing will ever grow would be a good replacement for Fear Factor Live.
There is so much salt in this.
Stitch's Great Escape would be a
Oh
good
man,
replacement for Fear Factor Live.
chili
That's
dog
how
burp.
low I'm willing to go.
And in our last bit of news in the queue before we get to the main attraction, Zombie Captain America made his gruesome debut at Disney California Adventure for Oogie Boogie Bash, and I was there to see it and hear it, and it
And
was
how long did you have to wait in line to take a picture of Zombie Cap?
not that long
Oh,
actually,
good.
because we were just kind of hanging out. We had met Agatha first. We got her out of the way immediately,
It
and
was Agatha all along, wasn't it?
yes. And a fan of Superyaki came over and said, Zombie Cap comes out in 20 minutes. It's not listed, but you might want to go and hang out over there.
Yes.
So we did. And then they started playing these like gruesome chewing and
Mm.
ripping flesh noises, and the lighting changed. It was really gross.
Wow.
I'm not going to
It's
lie.
pretty bold for Disney. Like,
Exactly.
Oogie Boogie Bash when I was there first time they had it, which was the last time they had it, it was pretty mild. It was pretty cuddly. Not that different from the Mickey's trick or treat parties that we have here. The not so scary. This is maybe a little bit scary. Maybe it's not
It
so not so scary.
I would definitely the soundscape at least sounded very like Horror Nights-y, like kind
Yeah.
of you could hear him ripping and eating people.
Hmm.
And he started at the top of the Avengers building and worked his way down.
Okay.
Um, and came out through you see the store here usually like Thor or Iron Man will come out and meet
Mm-hmm.
there. They had him behind a stanchion, but he was like glistening from the mouth,
Ew.
looked really disgusting, was like lunging at people and snarling, and it was very scary. And then when he leaves his set, he just dips. Like there's no, oh, goodbye, he's gone. He just leaves.
Does
Um,
not sign autographs.
no. And he also moves a lot, so getting a picture with him is nigh impossible unless you like a selfie where you're perfectly clear and you see this blur of blood
He
and
lurches a
stripes.
lot, huh?
Yeah.
He's a lurcher.
But it was really cool. I was super surprised to see Disney kind of take a horror angle, especially with the Marvel IP, but I kind of like it. I know some people won't like it because Disney is supposed to be cute and cuddly and not scary, but I think there is a place where both of those can exist
It really
on,
feels like they're testing the waters, see how far they can push the line, and if their fans will accept that kind of event.
yeah. Because he wasn't like, you couldn't see any gore. It was just on
Mm-hmm.
his costume. He didn't like attack or eat anybody in front of you. It was all just like implied with the noise. Um, and just in his appearance. But it was really cool. I thought it was awesome. Josh actually was lucky, and based on where he was standing when Cap came out for the actual meet and greet portion, that he was first in line.
Oh, bonus.
But it was very cool though. Trying to get in line to see this guy was like a bloodbath. Everyone started running into each other like Pandemic Who, just trying to get in line to see this guy. And they cut the line really, really short. Like he's
Hmm.
only out there for 20 minutes maybe, and then he goes away. And he only comes out 4 times a night.
Wow. So you really
So
got to build your night around this if you want to
yeah,
see him up close.
and it's unlisted. So you either know someone who knows, or you don't know and you get lucky.
Hmm.
Um, but very cool. Glad we got to do it. As you can see here, he's like all dirty, and you can see like sinewy parts of skin sticking out. And but it was really great, especially the makeup application was excellent
Hmm.
too. Super unexpected for Disney, but I was telling everyone in our group, I was like, if you see someone with a clipboard, go talk to them right now. Like, go tell them
Uh-huh.
you like this, so that way we can get more.
Yes.
Um, we didn't see any, unfortunately, but it was cool. He had two attendants with him who were acting like scared and concerned for guests and stuff, which was cool to kind of play into the storylining of the thing.
It's really funny how Marvel and theme parks have changed over the years. I just wrote an article. I don't know if it's up yet or it's going up soon on our blog about the first time there was a horror crossover with Marvel in a theme park, which was Islands of Adventure hosted Halloween Horror Nights for a couple of years in the early 2000s. And they had an infamous haunted house called Maximum Carnage, where they had a bunch of dead superheroes inside.
Nice.
And Marvel was not happy about the idea of their superheroes being murdered, or seeing corpses of Wolverine or Captain America, and they quickly stopped that, and that was never done again. It's so funny. Almost 20 years later now, that's the most popular thing, and they're all about it.
I mean, if you want to know what this is specifically referencing, this character appearance is ultimately a synergistic promotion for Marvel's What
Yes,
If on Disney
on Disney
Plus.
Plus. Yep.
But Josh watched the episode on the plane to kind of prep for this because we were hoping that he would come out. We weren't sure if he would or
Hmm.
not. And he said it was extremely violent and
Oh yeah.
gruesome, lots of death, specifically like fan favorites
Oh
die.
yeah. The
Um,
the TV series is kind of a condensed take on the Marvel Zombies, which was kind of a long running comic series. It was extremely gory, and it basically, by the end of it, the superhero zombies had basically consumed the entire universe, basically eaten every living thing in the known world. It really did not have a happy ending.
no, but this is cool. I like the potential of maybe getting some more scary stuff at Disney Halloween events. It certainly seems like they're interested in it
Hmm.
because not even 3 weeks before this happened, they publicly wrote a press release about how they gave cast members at Disneyland a scary maze inside of the Redwood Creek Challenge
Yeah.
Trail. Um,
That is something that has been done quietly for many
yeah,
years. That is not anything new, and as far as I know, there's never been any plans to open that up to the general public. But it is interesting that they publicized it for the first
yeah,
time, as far as I know. Usually, there's been no official acknowledgement of that. It's just been like a cast and crew only thing.
yeah. So it definitely seems like they're like, do you like this? Do you want
Hmm.
more of this?
Yeah.
I didn't see any cast members doing surveys after I saw Cap. But if I had, and if I get any surveys in my email, I'm
I
gonna take them.
I think their survey is Instagram. I
Oh,
think
that's
they're
fair.
looking at all of the reactions, and that's what they're interested in.
But very cool. Glad I got to see that. And that's everything for news in the queue.
We're all done.
And
That's
we're
it.
all
Nothing
done.
else important happened in this week, right?
Oh, well, you did
We
say that
talked for an
you
hour,
were
so the show's over, right?
you did say that you were at the park for hours
Oh boy.
on the
Yeah,
19th.
I guess we got to talk about this. We should first. I think we have a little bit we have to do before we dive into this.
Yes, let's get a quick word from our sponsor.
Here at Destinations with Character Travel, we offer the best experience with your travels. Need to visit the thrilling Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World? Maybe lounge about on a Disney cruise or any other major cruise line? No problem. So if you're looking for a stress and hassle-free vacation, visit us at www.destinationswithcharacter.com. Contact us today and let us plan a magical vacation for you and your family.
It's time for the main attraction.
And this week's main attraction, of course, is the blue-shaped elephant, or blue-colored genie-shaped elephant in the room, Disney Genie Plus and Lightning Lane.
Yeah, so the
How was this?
long-awaited replacement for FastPass Plus launched at Walt Disney World on October 19th, and it was a day. It was a very long day.
I bet.
Too long didn't read version is, in some ways, it's a great service, and if you know the loopholes, you can really use it to your advantage. However, it's doesn't feel fully baked, a lot of the components. There's still a lot of frustrations and weirdness. If you're going to use it, keep your expectations in check. There's actually 3 separate things that we should touch on. Disney Genie is sort of the overall umbrella, and that is a free service that's now baked into the Disney smartphone apps. If you've got an iOS device, update to iOS 15. You need the newest operating system to fully use all the features, and then make sure you've got your app updated to the latest version. If you've got the 50th logo on your icon, that means you've got the latest version. So you want to do all that first, and you're going to need a Disney account that's tied to all your tickets. All that's pretty much the same and should carry over as long as you've been using the app previously. But the new feature that Disney Genie adds is the ability to plan your day out based on your favorite attractions and what it thinks you are going to like. This is free. This is broken. Full disclosure, I have a relationship with the unofficial guides and touring plans, and we offer services that create, as I say, touring plans for visiting the parks, and that's part of what Disney Genie is supposed to do. So yes, in a way it's competition, but it's almost like someone at Disney Genie was a really big fan of touring plans and didn't want to take away their revenue, so they just sabotaged what Disney Genie is trying to do. Honestly, like, the idea is that it's supposed to tell you, go to this, go to this, go to this, and as long as you follow Disney Genie's itinerary, you're supposed to be minimizing your waiting, minimizing your walking, and maximizing the number of attractions you see. In reality, it kept telling me to do things that I did not want to do. I do not want to see the sing-along Beauty and the Beast. I do not want to ride Journey into Imagination with Figment. I do not want to see Sergio the juggler mime in Italy. But it kept telling me that that's what I wanted to do. And even if you press a little button that's supposed to make it swap out what its suggestion is for something else, it still was telling me to do things that I didn't want to do and I wasn't going to do. For me, the bottom line is, when I was at Disney Hollywood Studios and I could have gone to Ronto Roasters or Brown Derby or even ABC Commissary, excellent shrimp tacos, it kept telling me to eat lunch at Pizza Rizzo.
Stop it.
Any piece of technology that tells you to eat at Pizza Rizzo, either it has been bribed by Alicia Stella, or it is just messing with you. There's no way that you could make that recommendation with a straight face. So my advice for using Disney Genie is, there's a tip board that is really helpful buried in Disney Genie that will show you things like the estimated wait times, which are mostly wrong, and more importantly,
Nice.
Walk-up times, availability at restaurants. That's the best part of Disney Genie, is that it now consolidates all of the immediate restaurant availability. So look for that on the tip board. Other than that, Genie is a bit of a mess, and if you're the kind of person who used to pay for touring plans, you're probably going to want to keep doing that and use them in conjunction. But I think what most people are interested in is Disney Genie Plus, which is the paid service, along with the individual lightning lanes. And you use a combination of those together, sort of equals what FastPass Plus, or if you're a Californian, what MaxPass was. In some ways, I like it a little bit better than FastPass Plus, but I don't like it quite as much as Max Pass. And we've got a whole long article full of tips. If I started diving into each of these tips, we could easily talk for a full hour. But I'm going to cut to the chase and give you my 3 most important tips if you're interested in this. The first is Genie Plus. I would say is mandatory if you are park hopping. If you are going to Disney's Hollywood Studios, or if you want to stay at your hotel or your house late and arrive at the park late in the day. In those cases, you can really take advantage of Genie Plus. If you are going to only go to one park, you're going to only one park from open to close. If you're going to Animal Kingdom, you probably can do without Genie Plus. Or if you're a local and you're just going for a few hours and you can come back anytime, obviously it might not be worth that $15 a day to you. But if you do buy Genie Plus, the key to using it well is taking advantage of the 2-hour loophole. If you used Max Pass or Fast Pass, you might remember that if you got a return time that was way far in the future, after either 90 minutes or 2 hours, you were able to get another one. You can do that now with Genie Plus after 2 hours. But the thing is, normally Genie Plus is made so that you have to use up one pass before you can get another, and that would normally make it so you only have one reservation at a time. But if you pick up one of these that's at least 2 hours in the future, now you've got 2, and you don't just have 2 to use that once, but you have 2 now for the rest of the day that you can piggyback. If you wait another 2 hours to book another one, then you have 3. I ended up actually with 4 by the end of the day, and I was able to get a Lightning Lane return time for every single Genie Plus attraction in both Epcot and Hollywood Studios by the end of the day.
That's awesome.
Whereas if you're just doing one at a time, you might find that you've run out. The other tip that I have for Genie Plus is to, in order to make that work, is to look for the attractions that are pushing way towards the end of the day quickly. And the number one that you have to keep an eye on is Slinky Dog Dash. Pretty much everything else, you can get a Lightning Lane return time on a few minutes or at least a couple hours notice. Slinky Dog Dash, by 10 a.m., it might be gone for the whole day. So make that your priority. And then my tip involving the individual Lightning Lane attractions, which is not included in Genie Plus, and these range from $7 all the way up to $15, is that if you want to do Rise of the Resistance, and you are not rope dropping with the hotel early entry, it is worth $15 to skip that 2-hour line, because once basically the people who get in with the on-site hotel early entry, those first few people can get in a reasonable amount of time. But by the time that early entry is over, it's going to be a 2-hour wait. It's going to be 2 hours for the rest of the day. Pay the $15, because if you're on vacation, your time is worth at least $15 an hour. That's the way I think of it. For what you've sunk into your transportation, your hotel, your admission ticket, your time is easily worth $15 an hour. The other one, surprisingly, that I would recommend using it for is Ratatouille. You can wake up at 7 a.m. and get a return time for free for Ratatouille, but you're going to wait at least 30, more like 45 minutes to redeem that. And so, you're waking up early for the privilege of waiting in a line. The day I was there, the Ratatouille individual Lightning Lanes were only $9. You could get it immediately, and I waited less than 3 minutes from scanning in to being on the ride.
Wow.
So again, 45 minutes in line and waking up at 7 a.m. and having the stress of going through the virtual queue system versus just paying $9, for me, that was worth it. I wouldn't do that every time. Obviously, as a local, most of the time I'm probably not going to use these services. But if you're a once a year or once a lifetime visitor, paying those few extra dollars, I'd say is probably worth it.
I was definitely a little disappointed that they hadn't launched it at Disneyland in time for my trip, just so I
Hmm.
could try it out.
Sure.
Because there were plenty of rides that I was like, oh, I want to ride that, but that is a long time to stand in line.
Yeah.
Radiator Springs Racers, mostly, more than anything,
Yeah.
because it would jump from like 50 minutes to 85 minutes, back down to 65 minutes.
Yeah, very inconsistent. Luckily, you do have a good number of single rider lanes,
Yeah.
and that helps a lot. Um, like I said, the system is very close to MaxPass. I like it better than FastPass Plus because FastPass Plus, you had to make all your decisions, weeks in advance, and a lot of times you couldn't get the ones you wanted because they were completely sold out. This, it's all same day, day of. Genie Plus itself does not sell out, even though individual attractions can. But the thing that I don't like about this, Max Pass allowed you, once you picked an attraction, if the wait time or the return times improved for that attraction, maybe someone else canceled, you could refresh and swap out and make a change. This system does not let you swap out. You have to cancel your existing reservation before it will even let you see if there are other times for that attraction available. And so you can cancel and then hope that you can pick up something better. But I liked the ability to just swap out. And also MaxPass let you pick up a new one after 90 minutes. This one makes you wait 2 hours. But like I said, that 2-hour rule is perfect if you are a person who likes to tour in the afternoons. Because if you start right at rope drop using the app, and you can use that from your home or your hotel room, there's no GPS on using this app. You don't have to be clocked in yet at Disney World. Disneyland, you will have to go through the turnstile before you can start using it. So that'll be a little trickier in California. But in Florida, you can sit in your house and you can just pick up a new FastPass return time every 2 hours all morning long, and then head over in the afternoon, and you've got a whole, lineup of e-tickets ready for you to just walk onto. And the biggest difference I noticed between Lightning Lane and FastPass was always backed up.
Yeah.
They would say it was a 10 or 15-minute wait. There are times I waited a half an hour in a FastPass lane. With Lightning Lane, I never waited more than 5 minutes. They are really, I don't know if it was just people aren't buying into it yet, or they are really keeping the merge ratio high, but I flew through the Lightning Lanes every time with no delay. And so you're definitely getting what you pay for, at least right now. We'll see how that changes as time goes on, and they change the method in which they mix standby and Lightning Lane. But for right now, I definitely got my money's worth out of it.
Well, that's good. I was definitely curious as to how it would go that first couple
Hmm.
of days for sure.
I know there are
Um,
lots of people who had problems. There were always big crowds around the blue tents, the blue umbrellas, which is the guest experience team. You can go to them to help you out. You see them around the parks, and there were people who were having issues. Make sure you've got a spare battery for your phone because
oh
you
my
are going
gosh,
to
yes.
kill your battery. And the app, I found that I had to basically close down and restart the app almost every time I wanted to use it because it would forget about my login or it would freeze up. Um, so yeah, it's definitely still got its bugs.
Well, hopefully they will work out those kinks. I mean, launches are never
Yeah.
pleasant. But is there any aspect that you kind of feel is missing from Disney Genie now that you've used
Oh.
it, or
I mean,
um,
obviously the recommendations need to greatly improve. And the thing is, Disney Genie is ultimately designed to serve Disney's needs and not necessarily the individual guests. It seems like it's directing people, when it's sending people to Regal Carousel or Swiss Family Treehouse at rope drop.
Oh my.
It is not doing it, for your most efficient day. It's doing it so Disney can more efficiently spread attendance around their park for their benefit. So, a little bit more transparency in the system about why it's making picks for you, why it's sending you to a particular place at a particular time. That would be nice. But again, I think a lot of the things that are gaps in Genie are filled in by touring plans. I'm biased, but I think the two of them work pretty well together.
Well, I know what I'm going to be doing whenever I feel ready to go back to a theme park again.
Yeah.
I'm theme parked out for a good while.
You need a little break.
Yes. But that is everything that we had to discuss this week, and we actually went over by about 16 minutes. You got some extra...
Well, we could keep going on. We could do a whole episode on Genie.
Yeah. Maybe we should.
We didn't even talk about the castle cake augmented reality photos.
If you want a full Disney Genie episode, let us know in the comments on the YouTube episode, and we'll consider it. But I do have some listener thank yous this week.
Yay!
Yes, a good amount, actually.
Awesome.
In case you didn't know, we have a subscription plan over at Attractions Magazine. There are 4 tiers. You can pick which ones work for you. And if you pick Clever VIP, you get a shout out on the podcast the week after you subscribe. So this week we are giving major applause to Andrew Krivsky, Jennifer Miller, Rob Sykes, and Beth Finney. Thank you so much for your support.
Yay! Thank you.
And our fall issue is available now. You can head over to attractionsmagazine.com/store and pick it up.
And I want to give one last thank you to our sponsor, Destinations with Character Travel. And also remind you to please head on over to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating. Please leave us a review. And please tell your friends about the wonders of Attractions Magazine and our weekly podcast where you've been spending time on this lovely Saturday afternoon. And if you want even more of us throughout the week, you can find me at theunofficialguides.com, on Twitter at the UG Series, or on Instagram at theunofficialguides. And Brittany, where can they find you?
You can find me at Brittany Tuttle. That's BRITTANITUTTLE. Yes, it's spelled funny on Twitter and Instagram, not Twister. They closed that a long time ago.
Write it out.
Every day at attractionsmagazine.com, at Attractions on Twitter, at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, and youtube.com/attractionsmagazine, where you've been hanging out with us for the past hour and some change. And until next week, I hope you guys stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.